Yeah, now I'm in grab the board.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Please let the record reflect that all board members are present. Are there any announcements? Any members of the public wishing to speak on an agenda item? Thank you. Can I have a motion for the approval of minutes from August 27, 2019, as contained in the packet?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Geller. May I have a motion to approve the probationary appointment of Carrie Handel, special education teacher?
So moved.
Second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of Diane Mono as the interim B teacher for science, effective September 3rd, 2019?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the amendment to the retirement date for Alice Amos, senior office assistant, effective December 31st, 2019?
Second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the amendment to the retirement date for Diane Johnson, computer programmer, effective December 31st, 2019?
Second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the amendment to the probationary hire date for Rose Marie Giudice, school nurse, effective August 28th, 2019?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the probationary appointment of Shannon Concanon, cafeteria aide, effective September 13th, 2019?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the retirement of Mary Catherine Piccinini, library aide, effective September 3rd, 2019?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the substitute guards as listed, effective September 13th, 2019?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the substitute special education aide Shannon Concanon, effective September 13th, 2019?
Second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the instructional swim and family swim program supervisors as listed?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the instructional swim and family swim program lifeguards as listed?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the concert hall managers as listed?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the auditorium technicians as listed?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the alternative school instructors as listed?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the adult education instructors as listed?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the mentor program coordinator as listed?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the permanent substitute teacher, Joyce Ronan, effective September 13th, 2019.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the enrichment instructors for the fall of 2019 as listed?
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Curriculum update. Ms. Marson.
Good evening. I would like to start off by thanking the faculty, students, staff, and administrators of the district for a great opening. I've had the opportunity to be in and out of the buildings over the last week and a half. Our buildings look great. Our classrooms are beautifully decorated. Students are engaged in interactive learning opportunities, getting to know their classmates with big smiles on their face. And that doesn't just happen. It comes together after a lot of hard work and dedication. So thank you very much to all of the faculty and staff in the district for a great opening. Our pre-K kindergarten program kicked off on Monday, September 9th, at all of our 4 buildings. Again, I had an opportunity to visit those classrooms this week. Very impressive. Our students are taking their attendance, they're getting their backpacks in the right places, they're meeting up with their new friends in the various learning spaces throughout the classroom, and they are overall doing really great, so we're excited to see their progress throughout the year. Last year, Dr. Rowland and members of our elementary instructional team spent the school year creating a standards-based elementary instructional program for K-5 students that included reading, writing, and science units of studies, a scope and sequence for math, social studies inquiries, and next nights throughout the 2019-2020 school year. A flyer was sent home to our elementary school students and middle school and high school parents, and students will be notified via school messenger. There's one night per month throughout the school year where we won't be having any homework, and we're hoping that families take some time to spend time together, to sit down and have a nice meal, to go to a local sporting event. So we are looking forward to that. The planetarium is up and running this year once again. Our elementary and middle school students will be taking several trips to the planetarium this year. They will expand on their knowledge of astronomy, celestial navigation, and we are hoping to get that up and running in the next few weeks. The STEM Academy, thanks to Mr. Taylor and our teachers up at the high school, commenced with its first annual meeting last Wednesday, September 4th. There are currently 27 students enrolled in the program, and the program offers the students the opportunity to be a part of a creative, problem-solving culture and to pursue personalized learning experiences in the areas of science, mathematics, engineering, technology, and computer science. We're really looking forward to seeing some great things coming out of those students this year. The implementation of the RTI MTSS process has been fully implemented in our elementary buildings. We are now looking to move that process onto our middle schools for this current school year. In addition, AimsWeb, the universal screener that we utilize at the elementary buildings, is something that we are also going to be looking to implement into our 6th grade classrooms for this coming school year. GeoGebra, it was brought to my attention by Mr. Grover, our new director of mathematics. Our secondary math teachers will be exploring the use of it this year. It is an online resource that can take the place of those big graphic calculators that all of our high school students are constantly trying to keep track of throughout the year. The students will be able to access GeoGebra via their Chromebooks, and the overall goal is to alleviate the need to purchase and track and replace missing calculators as they occur throughout the year. Dimensions program for math, we are expanding this year. Last year it was K1 and 2. This year we are expanding to 3rd grade, and we will be having professional development for our teachers in the coming weeks. Thank you.
I just have a couple questions, Mrs. Martin. The curriculum that's currently available as part of Dr. Rule's work here for us, is that accessible by the parents, or is it strictly to the teacher resource at this moment in time?
That is a good question. Right now, I believe it is accessible to the teachers, but it is something that I can look into.
Okay. And then the STEM Academy that you spoke about, How were those students attracted to that program? Did they apply for it? Was anybody able to access that? What was that process?
So I'm the former director of science here, so maybe we'll.
Last year, we did 2 informational nights at both Beach Street Middle School and Udall Road Middle School. It was open to any student who had a desire. Dr. Rulin and the STEM Academy Committee created an application that the students filled out expressing their interest. And then the students were placed in the courses drawing and design for production. We created a new STEM skills research class that was modeled after our science research class, where half the year they're working with Mr. Pope, one of our engineering technology teachers on engineering design. The other half of the year they're working with Mr. Halleck in our science research program.
So the application they submitted, but if they applied for it, they were accepted as a
Absolutely.
program.
We did
And
not.
so you had 2 informational meetings. Just out of curiosity's sake, because I know it's something we discussed regarding trying to attract both male and female students into that academy. Was that successful? Was there any more outreach to balance those numbers a bit?
25-2.
So we are going to be working on that.
Okay, so I really want to work on that. We agree. Okay.
We agree.
Thank you.
So just to throw my 2 cents in, and it's something Ms. Burns and I have talked about for some time. I think we need to start working on it when they are much younger. By the time the kids are in 8th grade, trying to interest them in this, particularly the young ladies, trying to say, hey, math and science is good. I think it's already too late.
Thank you. And just as an aside, the enrollment in our classes is pretty equal for the most part.
Right, and the research program is-
Certain courses that we struggle with, so.
The research program has tons of young ladies in that. Yeah. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. McGinnis will discuss the meeting of the Finance Committee.
Thank you. The committee met on September 10th. Committee members present were myself and Paul Mitchell. Other board members in attendance, Steve Geller, Rich Campanello, and Dave McCann. Administrators present, Superintendent Burns and Lisa Pilati, the Assistant Superintendent for Business. Others present were Deborah Falcone and Pat Compton. The purpose of the meeting is always review the warrants for the month and discuss pertinent fiscal matters. The meeting was called to order at 7:30 p.m. We went through the various reports. We looked at the payroll summary report for July of 2019. It was presented and accepted by the committee. We reviewed the internal claims audit report for August of 2019. It was presented and accepted by the committee. The assistant manager audit trail for July and August presented and accepted by the committee. The payroll certification for August 9th, 10th, 23rd, and September 6th was presented and accepted by the committee. The Finance Committee received the warrants for the month, and we reviewed the following board agenda finance items. Approval of budget transfers were presented and accepted by committee for submission to the board tonight. Approval of surplus items, some science textbooks for biology and miscellaneous IT AD equipment. The approval of donations from the West Islip Touchdown Committee for varsity football jerseys with a value of $3,400, as well as approval of contracts for the 2019-2020 school year from Deer Park Union Free School District, Henry Viscardi School, Andrews Children's Center, Long Island Select Healthcare, North Babylon Union Free School District, NYSARC, Suffolk Chapter, Pediatric Neuropsychology Associates, and Syosset Central School District. There were a couple of discussion items we had. The audit committee will meet with R.S. Abrams, the district's external auditors, on Tuesday, October 22nd. And the purpose of that meeting will be to discuss the year-end audit for 2018-19. And Ms. Pilati reviewed the 2018-19 fund balance allocations with the committee. What that means is throughout the year we had spent less than we had budgeted and collected a little more than we had budgeted. So at the end of the year, we allocate those surplus funds to various fund balances. The meeting was adjourned at 7:58 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. McGinnis. And And Mr. Mahalik will discuss the meeting of the Buildings and Grounds Committee.
Good evening. Buildings and Grounds Committee met on September 10th, 2019, 7:45. It was located at the District Office Board. Members and attendants were Ron McGinnis, myself, Bernie Kearns, Mr. Pilati, and James Bossi. Others in attendance were Steve Geller, Rich Antonella, and Peter McCann. First, we discussed the bond work update. Mr. Bossi provided it. Vestibules at the elementary and middle schools are entering the final stages of completion, and the visitors management software will be installed within the next few weeks. Kindergarten playgrounds at Bayview and Open Up will go out to bid shortly. Variation to the door of the newly renovated high school technology room is being considered to ensure equipment can easily be moved into and out of the room when necessary. The suite rooms associated with the high school performing arts center have been demolished and construction will begin shortly. Work on the high school security vestibule beginning Monday, September 16th. High school parents and students have been informed of alternative areas of entry to enter. Miss Sarah Elementary School. BOCES will be vacating it by the end of September. While the board explores options for the site, the building will be maintained to ensure the interior does not suffer damage and the exterior grounds do not become an eyesore. The West Islip Soccer Club will cover the cost of regularly oiling the grounds. Projects for the capital reserve and the Fund B list. The list of potential projects was shared with the committee. Mr. Bossi is gathering information about the associated costs. Generators for the server rooms. Due to recent power outages, it has become apparent that generators are needed for the district office and Manitowoc server rooms. An analysis will be prepared comparing the cost of purchasing generators for those individual rooms versus equipment to service the entire Beach Street and Manitowoc buildings. Costs associated with the turf field use at night. An analysis was provided which showed the cost of operating the turf field lights. The committee agreed that the costs are to be included when permits are issued to individual organizations. DEC remediation. The district's environmental consultant will review the daily air monitoring reports that are provided by Sevenson Environmental Services, the company which is contracted by the DEC. In the course of the remediation at Rhodes Creek, the DEC discovered an old creek pump. The DEC will make a determination as to whether a new one needs to be installed. Solar roof project. The RFP for the PV solar roof project will go out to bid in October. Grounds. The district grounds crew will spruce up the dead end of Boulevard Avenue. Recent wind and rainstorms caused many tree limbs to fall and damage fencing that borders residents' properties. These issues are being resolved. Potholes and sunken drainage grates that you don't currently have been fixed. The soccer club is exploring ways to thwart recent vandalism at the site of their shop at the end of the York Field. It's happening 3 times, I think, in the span of less than a month. The meeting adjourned at 9 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Mahalik.
I have a question. I'm sorry. You must have seen a pump at Willow Creek. What is that in reference to?
I guess when they were
Anybody else?
when they were excavating, the person pump that evidently had not been used for a very long time. So they're trying to determine, it doesn't really affect us, but they're on our ground. They're trying to determine if it's necessary to reinstall the pump or reactivate.
Well, what does the pump do?
It has something to do with moving water along, I guess.
It push water to areas where sometimes it drains down, try to keep those particular areas wet, so it has, the town has to use it, or has an operation.
It's to prevent stagnant water, which is,
So they're going to replace the pump.
They look at it.
Well, if the pump is there, it should be replaced. Thank you.
maybe it's stagnant. Mr. Campitello will discuss the meeting of the Special Education Committee.
My Special Education Committee met on 0800 on September 11th in the district office conference room. First on attendance was Mr. McGinnis, Ms. Dallin, Ms. Morrison, and Ms. Doherty, and myself. The committee conducted a review of educational services provided by the district with each individual building, and we discussed the possibility of outsourcing people and what it would cost. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Mr. Montello. And Mrs. Rosa will discuss the meeting of the Education Committee.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Education Committee met this evening at 7:15 p.m. here at the district boardroom. Members present were myself, Mr. Richard Antonello, Mrs. Bernadette Burns, Mr. Peter McCann, and Mrs. Morrison. Also present were Mr. Thomas Campitello, Mr. Gallo, Mr. Fullhouse, Mr. McGinnis, and Mr. Mitchell. The items that we discussed tonight were Title I schools. We have two of them here, which basically means that we're receiving funding based upon socioeconomic factors in those buildings, and just to direct some monies that we receive through federal government grants to those schools for resources. We also discussed the pre-kindergarten program and the start that they've had here. We're very excited to see how that program takes off and what we can do with it, and how it will help our future kindergartners entering into our system. We discussed the comprehensive developmental school counseling plan, which is a work in progress that will be updated. And West Isop's comprehensive school counseling plan has been completed for the current school year. The plan ensures that all students in grades 6 through 12 have an annual review conducted by a school counselor, and that all students in grade K through 5 have access to a school counselor. A school counselor will spend approximately 2 days per week in the elementary buildings and guide our K-5 students on paths to college and career readiness. The plan will be available in all school buildings and posted on the district website. So our elementary schools will be receiving counseling services, which is new. We haven't had that before, correct, Mrs. Morrison? And that's happening this year. So that's something new that we can talk about in the future. And the committee also discussed the rollout of a pilot program in Manitowoc Elementary School regarding team teaching approach at the 5th grade level. By all accounts, it's been well received. The students like it, the teachers like it. We are monitoring it. We are really looking to see if this is something that we want to make consistent across all of the elementary schools in the district, and we'll continue to look at that. The meeting was adjourned at 8 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Rosa. And Mrs. Bellotti will discuss business items.
Thank you. May I have a motion for the approval of budget transfers 3668 to 3720 for the general funds and 3689 to 3703 for the capital funds?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of the donation of football jerseys valued at $3,400 from the West Isaac Touchdown Committee?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of surplus biology textbooks and miscellaneous IT equipment?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I have a motion for the approval of contracts as listed on the agenda?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Black. May I have a motion for the approval of stipulation of settlement with student A?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion for the approval of stipulation of settlement with student B?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Burns?
Thank you, Mr. Geller. So as of today, our enrollment in the district is 4,006 students. That is a decrease of 71 students from last year. So we continue down on that trend. We're starting to feel it a little bit at the middle and high school levels. The elementary buildings seem to be leveling out a little bit, which is what we expected.
What was the decrease last year?
It was more than that. Significant. It was over 100 students, yes.
So the decrease wasn't in kindergarten entry, it was felt across all
Yeah.
grade levels?
Pretty much, yes, and geared more now towards secondary.
When was the last time we did the population?
I have to check, I think it was 2 years ago, though. They gave us another time.
Can we also get populations in every, total populations in every building?
Oh, sure.
Thanks.
Mr. Mahalik mentioned the construction at the high school vestibule. That's for the purpose of adding the security vestibule in the main high school entry area. At some point, there'll be another one constructed in the back of the building as well. So there will be a little upset as far as, the traffic flow at the high school. But as Ms. Mahalik said, Dr. Bridgman is working with his team at the high school to make sure that we facilitate that as much as possible. The main entrance will be moved to the door outside of the auditorium door. So that's the primary location, but there'll be some other things that are moved around as well. So we'll keep you informed as that goes on. And finally, I just wanted to remind everyone that our first home game under the lights will take place next Friday night at 6 o'clock p.m. We will also be naming the stadium for former athletic director Wayne Charant on that same evening. There'll be a ceremony at halftime. Everyone is welcome, and we're really looking forward to something new in West Islip.
How long will the security vestibule take to finish in construction?
2 to 3 months.
Really?
Yes. They're working on the facade at the same time.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything else? Okay, Francesca M.
Hi, good evening. How are you guys? Hi. Okay, so I've spoken to Mrs. Morrison and Mrs. Burns individually about my concerns, but the concerns are surrounding the uncertainty that the curriculum is adequately being taught in my son's second grade class. This uncertainty is obviously not up to par with the quality of education we expect from West Islip. So in an effort to advocate for our children, we had asked before school started for additional support in this classroom. We're encouraged to hear from my son, who's 7, that there is some additional support in the classroom. I haven't been updated on how that's been, but we're here to advocate and ensure that this is going to be a more permanent situation to determine that the curriculum is adequately being taught in the classroom and up to par with the standards that we expect, whether that be a 3-month term, a semester term, 2 semesters, whatever it may be. But we're looking to have someone in there that will help ease the parents' anxieties, ensure that the children are being taught accurately, and that it's a good school year for both the teacher, the children, the parents, everybody.
So Mrs. Emma, I appreciate your thoughts in that regard, and I agree with everything you've said. We want to make sure that every student, all 4,000 of our students, have the very best education that we can give them, and we will continue to monitor all of our classrooms and provide all of our teachers and teaching assistants and other staff members with the support they need to do right by our kids.
So in terms of specifics, so for the classroom, can we advocate, or how can we push to ensure that this is going to happen within this time frame for this classroom?
We are supporting that classroom as we do every other classroom in the building. And throughout the district. Yes.
Can I have a motion to adjourn to executive session where we will discuss personnel, negotiations, and litigation? At the conclusion of executive session, the board will convene public session with the district office board to consider any items for which a vote is required.